because this is being talked about so much, I just have to clear this up for everybody. Has nothing to do with racism, but everybody...
That was an absolute brain dead take, and I'm going to let Indy handle that. He did a wonderful job with it. But I'm going to talk about why the film and television industry is only going to get worse when it comes to this type of stuff. I am in college for film and television, and I go to one of the top-rated programs in the country. And right now, we are taking film and television classes. I hate history, but I can at least pay attention enough to understand the conversation and the context of what's going on. And everyone seemed kind of interested up to the point that we started talking about women in history, black folks in history, and they were a little bit more interested in Asians in history. And the way the course is structured is we have a piece of media screening from that period. We also have a discussion, and then we also have a lecture. And when we got to women in history, people were kind of checked out. They were barely able to hold the conversation. But when we got to black people in history, none of the white folks gave a fuck. People were sleeping more in this section than I have ever seen it. And when we got to the discussions, people could not form cohesive thoughts on what was going on. We were talking about how King Kong was a racial allegory against black people. And when I sat down with my group and I was like, based on the prompts, which we had guided questions on, hey, what do you think? I was working on my midterm. I don't know. And the other guy, who's a fucking Asian guy, was like, yeah, man, I agree with you. And I was like, I was trying to probe deeper to actually get a discussion like, why do you think? And he's like, I don't know. And the white guy, through every single question, was like, I don't know, man. I wasn't really paying attention. So if these are your filmmakers of the future, and they could not be bothered to give a shit about learning any level of history of why we are doing something the way we are, why black folks are not represented, why other minority groups are treated so badly in this industry, and these are the people that are going into, we should not expect anything better from our audience, because these guys are in school to learn how to make film, to learn history. They are put into a setting where they are forced into this education, and they still could not be bothered to take an hour to learn any level of history in regards to the oppression of different groups that do not belong to themselves. And we expect audiences who have no obligation to learn to have any semblance of understanding or education. All they see, black people on screen. Why are they here? It's not historically accurate despite us having dragons and wizards. You had this conversation with Assassin's Creed. You had it with Little Mermaid. You had it with Captain America passing the torch. We had it with Miles Morales. And now we're having it with How to Train a Dragon. And we're going to have a million more times because y'all motherfuckers are, say it with me, racist, and you don't give a shit about understanding anything outside of your own group. I mean, it's not going to change. We live in an America where Nazis can literally walk down the street slinging slurs, and the most people do is just record it. We live in an America now where kids of color, regardless of what color they are going to school and being told, go back to your own country by their own classmates. We live in an America where children are going to school and little boys, because of how their parents are teaching them, are saying, your body, my choice. As a great man once said, this is America.